Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Innovation Podcast, your source for all things innovation. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Greg Gossett on the line, and he's CEO over at HealthAware. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, Greg, excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about early disease detection and how you're helping hospitals with this. But before we do, let's just talk a little bit more about HealthAware. So tell us a little bit more about your company, please.
Will do. Great. We're HealthAware is an early disease detection company, as you just said. But what makes us unique is we use behavior change technology to motivate high-risk consumers and patients to either seek care or self-care, which is kind of a new trend in healthcare today. Did I give you some information on this?
So in terms of, let's go a little bit further with that, Greg. Let's just jump right in. So early disease detection. So how you said it makes it different. So give us a little bit more on that one.
Yeah, you bet. So what's unique about healthcare is it's an industry without any sales channels. Every business that we know of, every innovator depends and grows lives on sales. Hospitals traditionally and healthcare systems and providers have traditionally sort of waited for sick people to show up at their door. And there's plenty of them. That's never going to be a shortage. But what's unique in today's world is everybody's getting so much more focused on cost and quality. And so just treating sick people transactionally is not acceptable anymore. And so our healthcare system, both patients and providers, are motivated to do the right thing. And the right thing, as you and I both know, is often self-care. Like, take care of yourself. Don't go to the hospital if you don't have to. Let's prevent some things. So the mindset that we support with hospitals is, hey, we want to help people take care of themselves. We want them to be preventive and well. We want to help employers work with their population to keep them well. But if you do have people that are sick, then we'd like to take care of them. And that's the right message that hospitals need to and healthcare systems need to have with this population today. So our program, HealthAware, is a series of 25 different early disease detection programs that the hospitals can use to help people gauge their risk in a given disease or disorder. So HealthAware is probably our flagship product, and we help providers say, okay, let's determine how at risk are you with heart disease? How likely are you to have a heart attack within the next 10 years? Obviously, if you rank high on that, they're going to want to see you, and that's their market share growth. That's a win-win situation for them. We find someone early, and they get new market share. If you're low on that scale and you're not likely to have a heart attack in the next 10 years, then they're going to give you resources. We will give you resources to keep up the good work, the prevention that you're doing, and give you additional tools to keep preventing yourself from growing in any heart disease risk. So that's just one example. And so we cover most of the major diseases and disorders. So bottom line here, hospitals look at us as a market share growth engine, but yet the consumers look at us as a prevention and early disease detection service that the hospital is providing.
What kind of response have you gotten from both the hospitals and the patients on the patient side? I'm just curious on the because everything you said logical, makes sense. It's like it's common sense almost. But but what kind of response have you gotten? I'm just curious how the market's taken to it.
Well, it's funny you asked that. You get very different responses from the hospital side because they're the ones using our tool and to reach out and connect with markets. And then you have the customers, the healthcare consumers, we'll call them. They're not always patients.
Okay.
So universally, we get very positive feedback from healthcare consumers. So they're thankful to know their risk for heart attacks, for lung cancer, should they stop smoking, should they, whatever it might be, we give them resources. They like that. That's what they came for. That's why they took this tool we gave them. The healthcare systems, we also hear the same from them too. They like what what we do for them. However, there's a lot more interoperability with them. There's a lot more we align with their marketing campaigns. Essentially, for a healthcare provider, I call ourselves a lead conversion tool. So they'll generate leads like through, email campaigns, educational campaigns, get you interested in what they're doing in the community. And then there's HealthAware, HealthAware, SpineAware, SleepAware, whatever it might be, to help kind of capture your interest. And then ultimately, we'll convert the right people to patients at the right time. So the feedback we get from hospitals is, looks like we've converted a lot of leads. Let's see where they went downstream in the hospital. So obviously two very different conversations, but we like both of them.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what's interesting to me is if you really look at a high level is that you're selling people on saving their own lives, on their habits, and on getting into the hospital at the right time, especially for the heart product.
Well, you know what's funny?
You're literally, that's what you're doing. Like, that's the thing.
We really are. And this is the genesis of the whole company. Is about 15 years ago, we created this little tiny, questionnaire, predictive model for heart disease risk. I put my father through it as a guinea pig. Long story short, he ended up, he's a healthy, tall person. And long story short, he had 90% blockages in the heart with no symptoms. And because he had all the risk factors, he ended up having a scan and a stent put in within a week. And he's alive today. The doctor said he would have not made it 2 more years had we not done this. So that is the story. That's when I became very passionate about the early disease detection, that this is the win-win. Consumers win and hospitals win. So I really believe in what we do.
Wow, that is an amazing story, number one. And I knew there was something behind it. I'm like, wait a minute, like you're literally selling people when the way you explain this, I'm like, why wouldn't somebody do this? And I get it. And I can see how on the hospital side there's a little bit of it's a new process, right? So meaning they're not used to getting, or even the word lead, right? Like you said, like it doesn't work that way. So the fact that 100% of the people that were at risk aren't showing a certain outcome is probably not what they're used to. So I get it. Whereas any other business or company in the world would be opposite. They'd be looking at a completely different metrics. But I get it, and I'm like, I would not want to manage all that. Better you than me, Greg. I love it though. It's a great product. So tell us a little bit more about. Tell us a little bit more about how people can engage and learn more about the product and get involved.
So our customers are healthcare systems. So our website, HealthAware.com, is probably the best way. Always find out information there, new products, new releases, everything else. My personal bio, Greg Gossett, is on LinkedIn. Always reach out to me personally, but for learning more about the product, our outcomes, our current customers, case studies, website's always the greatest place to start. And we'd love to hear from you. There's plenty of buttons and forms on our website if you're interested. That's with everybody else's website. Ours is like that too. Fantastic.
Well, Greg, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and why you created HealthAware. Of course, I mean, what an amazing story, and that you're out there saving lives. I mean, ultimately, this is what happens with great products like this. So, thank you for that. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, don't forget Mission Matters Innovation. Give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. I mean, love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Greg, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's a good time.